Well, the one thing I always wanted to be was a cowboy, and that's my whole life. That's what I've strived to be.
The NRCHA Hall of Fame welcomes Mr. Ken Wold. Ken was born with a love of horses, and starting with the early days on his grandfather's farm, that passion has done nothing but grow, and it helps turn him into one of today's most versatile trainers.
I never showed a horse till I was 21 years old, but we had 10 to 12 up to 15 head of horses, and my grandfather, like I say, traded them, and so they would take me when I was little to the sale, and they'd slip me on the goofiest things in the world, and they'd say, broke for woman, child, look, this little boy's riding it, anybody can ride it.
Ken attempted to train his grandfather's sale horses, but had little help other than with his favorite new book.
I was always training on them. I didn't have a clue. I'd bought the Reinsman, and I'd actually ride around with that book in my pocket, and I'd do something, get out, read what needed to be done next. I didn't know a horse trainer. I didn't know anybody, but I've been trying to train a horse since I could walk.
Eventually attending a rodeo, Ken was exposed to roping, the sport he would focus on for the next decade.
I remember I went to Cheyenne Frontier Days, and I seen steer tripping for the first time, and I had to be about 9, and I had a little old cheap saddle and a goofy mare, and I would tie on and rope the milk cows and trip them. I got in a lot of trouble over that.
Still heavily involved in roping, Ken enrolled at Cal Poly, where he became the student manager of the college's horse unit. It was there that Ken started learning the fundamentals of training.
And when they started showing me techniques on how you do this works, I thought it was magic. I couldn't believe that you could do something and then all of a sudden this started working.
Ken became more and more interested in becoming a professional trainer, and when the NRCHA Hall of Fame member Harry Rose visited the college, Ken's vision started taking shape.
But one day we had a fella come in, and his name was Harry Rose, and he brought some horses and had a little seminar there, and it's the first time I'd ever seen anybody from the rein cow horse world, and the first time I ever saw a horse really turn around. And I remember he had the Vancour saddle and the snaffle bit and the run of martingale and stuff that I had not really been exposed to, that style, but it really excited me, and I said, that's what I want to do.
Ken now had a focus, and even though he was a bit unprepared, he headed to his first cow horse show in Wheatland, California.
I didn't even know what a cow horse was, other than I seen them do it a little bit. And I went to Wheatland, and when I got done, Frank Rue, that's where I met him. He come up to me and he said, son, he says, if you're going to do this, he says, you need to learn a little bit more. He says, you're going to kill yourself. He says, you don't lack for guts, but you don't have a lot of knowledge about it. I think I never forget, it was all Powder River panels, and I hit every one of them. And he took me in and really helped me, showed me how to, work cattle and what we were trying to accomplish.
Under the guidance of NRCHA Hall of Famer Frank Rue, Ken started learning the art of training cow horses, and after graduation, he moved to Sacramento and started meeting many of the top cow horse trainers.
And I think the biggest opportunity that's ever happened to me is I was introduced to Bobby Ingersoll. And Bobby pretty much took me under his wing. He, I don't think he ever paid me for working for him, but I just lived out there as much as I could. And I took my horses, and Bobby never held anything back.
Now armed with knowledge from the cow horse masters, Ken went to his first snaffle bit fraternity in 1973 and placed 4th. He was now on his way. Ken had once only dreamed of competing at the Cow Palace, and he's ended up winning it 3 times. He's made the finals of the snaffle bit fraternity 18 times and won many other pre- and post-fraternities. Ken has had multiple year-end championships in the hackamore, bridle, and 2-rein. Ken has always prided himself in training in multiple disciplines, and to his credit, he's won the West Coast Reining Fraternity 6 times, and has made the finals at the NRHA Fraternity 3 times. Ken has also won multiple cutting fraternities, which has placed him at the #2 spot in the world on Equistat's leading money earners list of people with earnings in cutting, reining, and cow horse. In 2000, Ken took the 12-year-old cutter, Colonel Doc Barchek's, and turned him into a cow horse and world's greatest horseman reserve champion in just 7 months.
And he hadn't been trained since he was 4. He had won the NCHA Derby and never been trained for a reiner or a cow horse or nothing. In that year, I trained him to do all the events, roped on him, and I went there and ended up reserve champion and the world's greatest horseman. And to me, that was a personal accomplishment, taking a horse that old and then going the distance with him.
Ken's mentored and helped many trainers and non-pros, including Joe Putnam and fraternity champion Kathy Wilson. He's served on the board of directors and as president of the association, and has helped promote the cow horse industry by giving clinics and seminars in Europe. Ken's quick to give credit and thanks to all of the people who have helped him along the way, and hopes the foundation of the association will always remain.
You know, one thing I want to really point out is the rein cow horse, through the years, has always been a group of guys that have helped each other. And I hope it never changes. And so I think that it's important that the companionship or the camaraderie amongst the trainers always stay that way, because it's important, and that's what makes the rein cow horse.
The camaraderie of the trainers has helped build the NRCHA, but deep down, Ken knows what has helped build him.
But I would like to say one thing, that I could not have ever done this without my mom, Betty Wold, who has always been behind me and helped build this place, and we are still partners on the training business. And my wife, Ramona, my little boy, Pierce Wold.
From a youngster attempting to train horses by reading a book stuffed into the back of his pants to becoming one of today's most versatile trainers, Ken Wold has set an example and has helped rein cow horse evolve into one of the most prominent sports in the equine world. And for that, he has earned his place in the Hall of Fame.
You know, being inducted into the Cow Horse Hall of Fame, to me, is one of the biggest things of my life. Not just because of being inducted, but because the people that are already in it are my heroes. And being inducted with Benny Catrone, which we have been the best of friends forever, it just doesn't get any better than that, because they're cowboys. Even if they weren't showing horses, like I said when I started, all I ever wanted to be was a cowboy, and maybe I am one now.
Welcome, cowboy, to the NRCHA Hall of Fame.